Hey there, guys. Welcome to episode 6, I think, of Not a Competition podcast with your host, the great, the effervescent Mario,
How's it going, everybody?
and your other host, the poor, lowly Sean Brady. We are here to talk about stuff that will make us fight, basically. And for today's schedule, we're looking at some superheroes powers in our tier list, and we're looking at some villains in our battle to the death bracket fight. We'll also be playing a little Will You Press the Button. But first, I'd like to catch up with my friend Maru and see how his week went.
Buddy, it went pretty good. I was watching, flipping through the channels the other day, and you'll never guess what was on.
Anaconda 2.
Close. Air Bud 2, Golden Receiver.
I knew there was an animal in it.
Yeah, you were right, and it's a sequel. So, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. It's electric.
I have not, no. Can't say that I have.
The premise is the dog, Buddy, from Air Bud. It's discovered he also plays football. You know, he's like a two-star...
Two-sport athlete. Two-sport athlete.
Exactly. He's Deion Sanders, basically.
Right.
But the part that just stood out to me the most was just like towards the end, they're in the championship game, and Buddy, he's a dog, but he gets tackled, and this is like the first time all movie anyone's actually caught him and tackled him. Right. But then it's just such a sad scene because everyone's like, you know, the dog's hurt because this dog just got tackled by some kid, and everyone's just mourning this dog, and it's just like, did no one see this coming?
The man doesn't bounce back? He doesn't pretend he's been there before?
He doesn't even. Like, he's out for the rest of the game.
Oh, you hate to see that.
It's gut-wrenching in a children's movie.
I like the idea that some producer who had a mind like yours or something saw the first Air Bud and came in on this second project and was like, let's like take it a different direction. Let's look at the repercussions of a dog playing in a sports league. And they just like got really deep with it, and this is where it ended up for this kid's movie.
Yeah. I mean, spoiler, they still win without him. I think he kind of inspires him at the end, but it's just like, it just burned into my brain how everyone was just gathered around this dog. It's like, yeah, he got tackled. That's the point of football.
Yeah. And then he comes back for some foosball in Air Bud 3, and it all works out.
Oh my gosh.
So first, I'm glad to hear that you got your fill of Air Bud, or at least, you know, you got some Air Bud. I know your palate or your hunger for Air Bud is insatiable, but I'm glad you could at least whet your appetite a little bit. But let's get into Will You Press the Button here. And so I got our first one up here on the screen, and for those of you listening, I shall read it out. And it is a good one, I guess. You will be able to see into the future, or future, I assume, but you cannot see your own.
Ooh.
You know, this is a good thinker. A lot of these are like, you could have sex with whoever you want, but you look like SpongeBob SquarePants now. Like, this is one where it's like, there's a little more thought in it.
No con in that one, by the way. That hypothetical one, both pros.
What's your thoughts on seeing into the future but not your own?
Spooky. Being able to see into the future. I mean, like, there's going to be, like, we're going to go to the comments, and it's going to be a whole bunch of these cheeky bastards being like, I'd see the stock market or the lotto numbers, haha.
Right.
And it's like, I'm going to count that as my own future. So
that
like,
feels pretty fair to me, though. How is that your future?
It ain't my future, but, like, that just seems great. So I'm going to just think about the other uses for this.
Okay.
And I don't know if I like it. Like, I don't know. Like, ignorance is bliss, someone once said, right? So I feel like just the burden of knowledge and just knowing what would happen, no one would believe me, right? Like, if I went to somebody and was like, you're not going to believe this. Like, Ohio's going to secede in 40 years. And, like, right. They're going to put me in a mental institution.
What are they doing? They're landlocked, you know? They're surrounded. They can't go anywhere.
So, I don't like this.
There's something to be said for that, for sure.
Yeah, that haunts me.
And it's like, you see your family dying, and you're like, you know, of like, something you can't stop, right? Like, cancer or some disease. And it's just like, you're gonna die in 3 months. We literally can't do anything to change it. Like if you see, it would be great if I just saw like Mario get hit by a car. I could be like, hey
Not
Mario,
great.
why don't you come down to New York and visit this specific weekend and just keep him out of the area that it happens. But then you never know. Maybe it actually happened down here. How many of these time travel shows, it's like they see something happen in the future and then they try and stop it and it ends up being like different than... Watch That's So Raven and you'll learn this lesson.
Ooh. I was thinking Final Destination, but both pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Same
yeah.
same basic concept, you know?
So this is a no for me, dog. Do you have any strong views either way?
I'd do it. It's an added bonus with no repercussions. I don't have to use it if I don't want to, and I would try to limit my usage. I'd probably drive myself a little crazy and die or something like that, but I would try to use it as little as possible. Because you can get this, if you have got good control, you get this, you can do the stock market, look at it, and freaking just get rich and then live your life and never use it again if you wanted to. Also, you're able to see into Futre, and so maybe that's like some dude, and you don't want to see inside of him or something. But I will go with your answer here. Will not. 20% of people agreed with you. Other people,
They're right.
not so kind. I don't own a Futre was the highest comment on here. So we'll just move on.
Yeah, thanks. I hate creating usernames from 5 years ago.
Our second one here. Mario, would you get an automatic A on every test you take and have no homework ever again? But
Okay.
you have to go to bed at 5 o'clock p.m. on weekends forever.
Ooh. Now this is tough because there's two like forever clauses here, right? Like have to go to 5 p.m. forever. But there's no homework again. Which I also assume means forever.
Or your tests. You don't have to study because you're going to get an automatic A.
Here I'm trying to think what tests are going to be important that I need to get like an automatic A on. Like
For those listening or watching who don't know us, we are both not of a school age anymore. So I think this question, the positives don't really get in our don't help us out too much. I know we could think of some ways where it's like taking a sobriety test, baby.
That was what I was thinking. I was like, so you can drunk drive with this. And they
Yeah,
pull
but
you
who
over
wants to
and
do that?
You walk a straight line like perfection.
But who wants to drunk drive? That's a terrible thing.
That's the only thing I was thinking of with this. Like, I'm not going for any certifications. I'm not going back to school.
Right.
And I'd rather at least stay up till 6 p.m. So 5 p.m.
Right. That's almost too early for dinner. That's a tough one.
And football, you miss half of the games.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, this is a super no. Even if I was in school still, this is a no. I didn't do homework to begin with, so there you
Nice.
go. I already
Honestly.
had half of this deal to begin with. But yeah, I just I don't see this really working out for me. So I'm gonna pass it up as well. So let's
This
see.
was written by, like, a second grader or
Oh
something.
my god, 55% took that bargain. Congratulations, you're taking it while you're 15. No more homework for 3 more years, and then you go to college and get good grades. But guess what? You're not going to any parties, you nerd. You're done. You have to go to bed doesn't mean sleeping, of course, is the first comment. Then this guy says, use a sleeping bag with leg holes or a bed with legs and a TV with a computer and a console. Ultimate combo.
Ultimate combo in all caps. Like, this person's shouting this idea.
Yeah.
Genius.
If you see someone at your frat party on a Saturday night with their little leggies sticking out of the bottom of a sleeping bag, you have met Hayabusa 003, guardian of the family of ducks. I think
Electric.
that's enough. Press the button for today. I think we have seen the horrors that the world has bestowed on this site. That will bring us to our bracket. So first up, I'm going to have Mr. Maru go. and explain. How about the left side of his bracket here? For those of you who may have, checked out for a little and are just checking back in here. This is a bracket of villains in movies, TV shows, comics, whatever. Villains in something. There's a heavy lean to Batman villains in here, but I'm not gonna throw stones at anybody. But
sounds like you just did.
no, I'm just saying Mojo Jojo just has to beat the whole DCEU, but it's fine.
It's a stacked Northeast Conference. I'll give him that. Okay, so I can go through. What's the plan here? Like I'm starting my.
The plan is for you to embarrassingly explain this bracket because this is a disaster. Remember, everyone, these are for a battle royale scenario. Everybody's fighting each other to the death, and somehow we landed on this bracket. But if you want to start with your left side, that would be excellent.
Yeah, okay. So left side Final Four is Green Goblin from Spider-Man and Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman from the Sonic universe.
Right.
So Green Goblin, to get here, his first matchup was versus Doctor Doom, which is a great matchup. Two green guys, that's entertaining. Two robot suits.
That is the main robot suits. Oh, what are you doing to my boy?
So, this one I was thinking like it could be close, but I know he's got the glider, Mr. Green Goblin, and I don't think Doctor Doom's got a glider, so I had to lean towards Green Goblin.
He also has superpowers, though, but you do you.
This is a battle won in the skies. So Green Goblin advances. He's got to fight Doc Ock, who got there by beating Captain Hook from Peter Pan.
Sure.
Again, this is a tough matchup, but I'm thinking Green Goblin's just swirling around on his glider, throwing pumpkin grenades, gets there, advances to the Final Four.
Gotcha.
Dr. Eggman, he had to beat the Joker in the round one. But it's the Joker on the stairs doing like the little hey-ah, like with his arms in the air.
Yeah, and that was it really a dance contest?
So that wasn't really too scary to this guy and his mustache. It's the, specifically, it is, what's this actor's name?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. It's the masked version of Dr. Eggman. So he had to go up against Magneto. That was definitely a tough one. But
this is the one that... Your bracket, this whole bracket is a dumpster fire, and this show is called Not a Competition because it's supposed to be like, it's funny, it is a competition. But this is actually not a competition because this is gross what you've done to this bracket. I want you to explain to me how Dr. Eggman, whose main skill is creating robotic beasts and machines to fight Sonic, how he beat the master of magnetism in a fight.
It was upset of the year. It was the 16 seed took down the 1 seed. Like this was can't miss TV. It was electric.
And how did that happen? I get it was exciting, but please fill me in.
So the way how I'm picturing this battle goes down is just Magneto. He kind of just runs out of batteries in his power. Like it's bound to happen in one fight.
His batteries. I forgot.
So it just happened here, which gave Dr. Robotnik the easy upset. Again, Vegas lost.
The easy upset.
The easy upset. And that's how Dr. Robotnik advances to the Final Four against Green Goblin.
All right. Well, we'll get into a slightly saner bracket here. This bracket is my great... Chef's Kiss immaculate bracket. On my left side, I had basically like the opposite of you. Dr. Doom has made it to the Final Four. He faced Green Goblin, and he has like energy blasting powers and like telekinetic powers, and he's very strong in his armor. He's got a lot going on. And Green Goblin throws like pumpkins that explode. So I wasn't too big on Green Goblin. He could get knocked off his glider with some telekinetic or energy blast.
About to be knocked off his glider.
Oh, I mean, he harpooned himself with it in the movie, so God only knows. And I think he was knocked off it like 4 times during the whole film. Then he's like, "Fuck Spider-Man's villains gallery. I'm gonna take them all out." And he took Doc Ock down. A tougher battle, I would say. Doc Ock, he's a little more he's got those quick robot hands. So he doesn't have armor, but the hands move so quick, they're like deflecting anything you throw at him. But in the end, he was able to work his way through Doc Ock. And then my bottom bracket, I got the one and only Magneto coming out. I did give props to Dr. Robotnik or Eggman or whoever this is. And he did beat Joker because Joker's kind of like just the thug, right? He's got some hand-to-hand combat stuff and some tricks up his sleeve. But I gave Robotnik the edge there. Tough battle, Magneto's first battle with whatever his name is, the guy from Facebook movie.
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. And
Mark Zuckerberg is not a villain. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean? The guy who plays Mark Zuckerberg is Jesse Eisenberg. He's Lex Luthor, and the crime he'd committed was his acting in that movie. Magneto, though, tough matchup, but two very similar opponents he took down. Very smart men, robotic creations. You know, Lex Luthor's got like a super suit that makes him strong and stuff, but it's made of metal, and that's a bad mistake. Same with Dr. Robotnik. Like, the easiest fight of all time for Magneto, it's not that Robotnik's like a throwaway guy, but Magneto has the superpower that just cancels Robotnik. And so he does. Would you like me to do my right side now?
Yeah, you're on a roll, buddy. Let's hear it. Northeast.
Oh, I got you. In the Mojo Jojo vs. Batman division, there was only one true champion. Mr. Freeze, he's pretty solid, but he's like a mad scientist who does one thing well, freezing shit. Mojo Jojo's a mad scientist who does everything. He's multifaceted. So he has the diversity allows him to overcome the single-minded Mr. Freeze. This was a tough one because both of these guys suck. Like, Penguin sucks. He's like a mobster, and he has like some penguins that follow him around and shit. But for the most part, he's just like a mobster.
That can't be good for the penguins either, right? Like, this isn't their natural climate and habitat.
Right. They live in the sewers, though, which are hotter, I assume. So, I don't know. Go figure.
Oh, shit.
But they should be chilling with Mr. Freeze. Literally chilling with Mr. Freeze.
Nice.
Then you have the Riddler, who like has no physical fighting skills to speak on. I know some comic books give him like some hand-to-hand stuff, but for the most part, like, he's a dorky nerd. Clever little traps and games and stuff like that. I took the mobster over like this little Ridley guy because he's pretty bad. So then you come to the mobster versus Mojo Jojo, and he's just gonna sit this man down. He just has so much ability compared to the Penguin. Bottom half of the bracket here, I have my boy Venom, the final Spider-Man villain, it looks like, and he made it by taking down the Wicked Witch. She was melting, and the saliva that he produced was able to take her down. And then he took down Syndrome, who beat Shredder. Syndrome's got a lot of... he's almost like Dr. Robotnik 2.0. But Venom was able to power through, takes a lot of hits, and was able to just like ferociously take down Syndrome. And that's my right side, Mojo Jojo and Venom. Oh my god, this is a cluster. Why don't you explain this disaster you have put out?
Yeah, I love it. So, northeast side we're starting. The Riddler advances out of the Batman and Mojo area. Mojo beats Freeze. I kind of like your reasoning about Freeze just does one thing, Mojo does a lot.
Right.
But the Riddler against, honestly, the whole floors, he just works in riddles. And, you know, you have to think, like, the Penguin ain't smart enough to solve riddles, so he's dead.
Yeah,
Mojo Jojo, he's got a big brain.
Extremely smart. His brain is in a case on top of his head. He's so smart.
And that's the thing, is he just gets brain overloaded thinking of all these riddles.
What?
And so he's just incapacitated.
I don't know if I like this. He can't solve the riddle. There's no trap that the Riddler set up. It's just you gotta solve the riddle or you lose.
He's like a troll under a bridge. So he advances.
That's wild.
Other side, we got the Wicked Witch, because she's a witch with magical powers. And I like what you were saying about Venom and his saliva, but I just didn't picture enough saliva there to just like wet the witch. And like that's
all right.
like,
Let me just explain. I think you have the right, like, when I think a witch versus Venom, I'm like, that's a tough ass. Venom, it's like magical powers, like Scarlet Witch or some shit.
Yeah.
Have you seen this movie? She does two things that I remember. She disappears like in smoke. Actually, three things. Disappears in smoke. She like shoots a little slow moving fireball that hits Scarecrow and lightly lights him on fire, which is her most impressive power. And then she like convinces all these trees to throw apples at Dorothy. So like I don't know what her powers are, but she got beat by by freaking Dorothy. So I don't see Venom losing that.
No, there's no water here. Venom doesn't just carry around a bucket. So
I don't know if you need water. She had trees throw apples at them. That was her attack.
That's an amazing ability. I can't do that.
Is it an amazing ability?
Half the time, world hunger trees, with that.
I can do that if I wait long enough. A tree will drop an apple, and if it hits someone, I have done the same thing the witch has done.
Oh my god! But in so much fewer time. That means she practically has time travel. So she beats Venom, no question. On the other side,
serious
Syndrome. From Syndrome from Incredibles versus Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This was close, but I like the guy with the Jimmy Neutron hair, so he moves on against the witch.
He did. Against Shredder. I thought you said against the witch. I was like, you didn't like him that much.
He beats Shredder, but loses to the witch because the witch got magical powers, right? So now that's our final four: is Green Goblin versus Dr. Robotnik. And then the Riddler versus the Witch.
Insane.
Electric.
Why don't you take us through just take us to the end of this? Like,
yeah, we'll bring us home. We'll bring us home. So Green Goblin versus Robotnik. This was close, but I liked the Mustachio Man's powers versus Green Goblin. You know, like I think by this point into the bracket, like he's probably low on his little pumpkin grenades, his glider fuels, etc. So I think just the mustache powers through here.
You keep the negatives for the people Robotnik face are negatives Robotnik would face. Like for Magneto, he ran out of batteries while this guy controls robots. And then this other guy is running out of fuel and he's got robots going still.
It's incredible what a mustache and some goggles can give you. On the other side, two greens going at one another. We got the Riddler versus a witch.
You have a 3 green final four.
Green was just the theme of this one.
Lex
a
Luthor
lot of
didn't do
green. Lex Luthor and Doctor Doom, they really just dropped the ball.
Yeah. Lex was the only one in his bracket. Otherwise, Red was making it out of there for sure.
Yeah, he was the upset. So, Riddler versus Witch. I mean, I just don't know. Like, magic's cool, but magic can't solve riddles.
I love how you stated their two names, and then you pause like, I haven't thought of this one yet.
Riddler and the Witch? My thoughts into words. So that's it. So we got the Riddler versus Dr. Robotnik in the championship.
And now I'm puzzled here, because the one thing that you need to beat the Riddler, and if you have it, you win, is being super smart. And that's like literally all this guy does.
Ooh. See, that's where the greatest riddle was the riddles along the way all along. Kind of like a reverse National Treasure, you know, where it's like, it just brings you to your doom if you solve them all. And that's what Robotnik does, brings himself to his doom. Riddler's the champion of all.
You lose if you don't solve the riddles. And then you lose if you do solve the riddles.
And that's the riddle. Therein lies the rub, Brady.
That's incredible. What a power
that's why the
this
Riddler's
man has. And
That's
not
why the
even the
Riddler's the
Riddler
best
from DC. This man who's wearing the Riddler Halloween outfit.
I really wish we could see his face. It's electric. It is just.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
that's all right. Now let me. This is our true bracket. In my bracket, I have Doctor Doom versus Magneto. Throwing it down on the left side. On the right side, I have Mojo Jojo and Venom. So let me run you through. Magneto versus Doctor Doom. Again, it's like a sequel of Lex Luthor here. Very smart man. Metal suit. Not going to happen. Magneto takes
Also
him down.
green.
Easy as pie. Then you have Mojo Jojo versus Venom. This is a slugfest. Maybe one of the closest fights in the pack here. But Mojo Jojo's intellect and mechanical prowess versus Venom. It's a tough match, but the Venom is the symbiote that keeps going, and he powers through, scrapes by for me in this battle. Sheer power alone. In the end,
Okay.
another close one. Not quite as close as my Mojo Jojo one, but Magneto's half his repertoire that he's gotten through this on is this man wears metal. This guy fights with robots. This guy wears metal. It's been pretty easy for him so far. Venom does not wear metal. So
No metal.
it's a lot tougher of a matchup for him, but being an Omega level mutant, he's able to pull metal from the ground from wherever he needs to. He's able to alter magnetic fields of gravity, even electricity,
gosh.
and he's able to pull through. And something that I thought I thought this was going to be like almost a fair fight. And then I was like, how does Spider-Man beat Venom? He puts like two metal bars. He sticks metal bars in the ground and then hits him with a metal bar. The sound of metal clanging makes him like knocks the suit off of Tobey Maguire. Not Tobey Maguire. What's the kid? That 70s show.
Brock.
Eric Foreman lost the whole suit. So Magneto is gonna eventually clang metal together, and he's gonna notice the effect it has had on the symbiote, and that's how he takes him down.
That
A
sounds
well
like a
thought
reach.
out, well reasoned, genius tier bracket fights.
I'm just not seeing it.
I didn't even give your boy a first round out here.
Didn't.
But,
Oh.
You know what?
Electric.
I enjoy your fun, creative look at the battles.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, let's pull
All right,
up.
what's next?
Let's pull up our tier list here. So here's our tier list. For those of you watching, for those of you listening, we have fewer options today. I believe we have 26 options. These are superpowers. And so I'm going to go through I'm just going to go through what superpowers are available. And, those of you watching, you can see. Those of you listening, we'll discuss a lot of them as we go. But, you're on your own. Download YouTube. So, the powers that we're dealing with today. And if you want to follow along and you're watching, you can look at Mario's list here. You have...
Right.
Yeah, on the right here, it says Mario tier on the top.
Yep.
You have superheroes representing most of the powers here. It doesn't mean you get all that superpower for a lot of them, but we'll explain as we go. So the first one's super accuracy, shooting guns, bow and arrows, throwing things, whatever. Very accurate. Wherever you intend it to go in your head is where it ends up. Next up, we have Aquaman. And this one's kind of general because the power, it's not so easy to say like fire control. So it's, talking to fish, swimming well, breathing underwater, a little bit of water control from what I understand. Scarlet Witch is next. That's like magical powers, being able to, it's kind of a loose one, right? Like Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, a lot of magical spells you're working
Just get
with
some
there.
wizard shit.
Yeah, wizard shit. And then we have Nightcrawler as well as our next one, which is a teleportation. You don't have to be a blue elf if you don't want to be, but just the power to teleport between places. Mario, why don't you take this next row of just
Of course.
explaining it?
So next we got is nice. But just the powers are.
Yeah, we're just really going over the powers, but for those of you listening, this is Mario's tier list in basic order here.
Yes. So how about your pen and paper?
Yeah.
So we
copy
have
them down.
we have Poison Ivy's ability to just like control plants in general. Then we got Magneto with all of his metal powers. We have Spider-Man and his array of powers, so climbing walls, shooting webs. I don't know if he can talk to spiders. Can Spider-Man talk to spiders?
Not that I know of, but I bet there's a comic where he can.
Okay, so you can also talk to spiders.
Penny Parker can, I believe, she has like a telepathic connection to a spider in that Into the Spider-Verse movie.
Okay, so you get that too. Next we got Batman. You get Batman and all his array of powers. So like the hand-to-hand, the gadgets.
Love that
being
picture.
Rich. It's a picture of a child just as Batman. And next we got flying. Just straight flight. You get wings.
And that's key for me, the wings. If you could just fly, it comes a little less cool to me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we might get into it. We'll see.
Yeah. Next up, I want to rattle a few more. We got just
Go for
super
it.
speed, akin to the Flash. You got the ability to change your appearance, kind of like Mystique or like, a shapeshifter. Next, I want to say is Deadpool's ability to regenerate.
Yeah, the picture's just his crotch, but you get the whole thing. You don't just regenerate your balls.
And Brady picked up these pictures, just if there's any confusion.
Yes, and I zoomed on specific ones.
Next, we got the Hulk. So it's the power to just be like super strong and green.
Green's not required, but I'll allow it.
Next, we got the Juggernaut's ability. What's his ability? Just like not take pain?
Invulnerability, it's kind of like Colossus is kind of in a similar pool. It's just like these big, brawly guys who could get like hit by a train, and they're like, I barely felt that. It's like, just invulnerable to damage, kind of.
Cool. And then what else we got? Who's this next one?
This is Jean Grey again. Just for the second time, you've asked who this is.
Listeners at home don't know that.
She has telekinesis, listeners at home. Which means she can move things with her mind.
Awesome.
I'll finish us off here. Next one up, I don't even know a superhero that has this power. Maybe Superman does? I'm not quite sure. But X-ray vision. Then you have Jessica Alba. You just get to be her, which is a superpower in itself. But also her Invisible Woman power, where you can turn invisible. But not the force field power, just the invisibility. After that, we have Professor X. And for this one, we're looking at mind reading, not mind control. I know he can like freeze people when they're doing stuff and just go about his day. But we're looking at reading people's minds there. Storm's up next, control of weather. After that, we have, I believe he's also, isn't he Johnny Storm? Isn't that like his actual name? I don't know.
Yeah. I think
But
so.
Human Torch is there with pyrokinesis. Then we have Cyclops, laser eyes, laser vision. We have cryokinesis with Iceman here, ability to freeze stuff, do ice powers. Ant-Man, get big, get small. Cyborg we have here, who's like cybernetic. You're integrated with machines. So you have robotic parts which can make you strong and shoot lasers and shit, and you also can interface with internet or other machines and like hack and stuff. Then we have Kitty Pryde, who is surprisingly and sadly down here at the bottom of Mario's list, and she has intangibility, so she can walk through objects. She can also interface with, because of phasing through stuff, she can interface with electronics and like make them go haywire. And then finally on Mario's list we have Rogue, which is like power absorption, so you can steal other people's powers, and in her case she uses them for herself, and I guess that could
Very
factor
selfish.
into your conversation as well. But that is our list of powers. That's Mario's full tier list. Maybe we'll
There
go
it
over
is.
mine at the end. Who knows? We'll see if we have time. Other than that, we're going to do our 5 for 5s. So Mario's going to throw 5 questions at me about my list, or about if he wants to bring up something about his own to highlight it. feel free to do so. But it's basically 5 points he wants to make and 5 points I want to make about our lists here. So why don't you start us off?
Yeah, and I mean, there's immediate one. I'm sure it's on your mind too. Kitty Powers.
Kitty
of being
Powers.
intangible. Her powers of being intangible.
Right.
Is pure Shadow Realm for me. I would just love saying like if I had these powers, I would just mention it's like I have all the intangibles. You know, like when you hear like them
So
talk
that's
about
the first
athletes,
mark. That should take
It's
her
like-
to at least garbage for you.
That's
that
the
pun
only
alone
redeeming
should take
quality.
you to garbage.
Is just being like, oh, they've got intangibles, but it's
Right.
like that gets old quick.
Right.
And
So
otherwise, there's just no use for this.
there's multiple ways we could have like done our list. Is this who's the strongest power? Is the list which power would I want the most?
What power do I want to wake up with tomorrow?
And that's how I did my list. So
Perfect.
for Kitty Pryde's power of being able to phase through things, it's an extremely useful power for me. And there is some bias. I love her power. She's my favorite superhero.
a lot of bias.
What's that?
A lot of bias, it sounds like.
Yeah, there's bias involved, but there's great explanations. So I look at a couple of things when I was picking what my favorites are, what I want to wake up with tomorrow. And a lot of it, like, power is important. Like, there's no supervillains as of now. But if I'm getting powers,
Knock
who
on
knows
wood.
who's getting powers? Or maybe I'll be the supervillain. But, so that power plays into it. And I think in the comic book universe, she's not the most powerful. She did phase a giant bullet through the earth, which is pretty impressive. But her power is actually way more useful in a realistic environment than in the comic book space. Like Cyclops is super strong because he shoots lasers. But if he gets shot, he dies. And that's the end of Cyclops. He sucks. He can't beat. If you have 5 guys with guns, he's in a rough spot in real life. In the comics,
just
he's like
blinks a
blasting
lot.
them. What?
Yeah, he just blinks a lot and they're all dead. What do you mean?
So in real life, it's a lot tougher to not die as a superhero, and she has a great ability to let things just pass through her and not die. She can just be intangible except for the soles of her feet, so she stays above the ground she's walking on. And then as soon as she's about to punch someone, just make her hand physical and just punch the guy in the face. So she can also reach inside of them and then rip their heart out if she wanted to. And they don't do that in the comics, but in real life, that may be a skill that would be pretty useful.
Yeah, that skill is gonna be more important in real life than in a comic book.
Well, the thing is that she's a good person. She's not the Punisher, so she's not out here like murdering people. She's like trying to punch them in the face and do pows.
Oh my gosh!
and
But
kapows.
if you had these powers, you'd
Right.
be the Punisher. And go
If
out
I
and
had
murder
these
people.
powers and someone like Magneto was there, I'd walk to him intangible, and who knows, his electromagnetic field, he can maybe like knock me out of it. But my plan would be to let him not be able to hit me with metal and then reach inside his chest and pull his heart out. 100%. I would not go
Oh my
soft
gosh.
on anybody as a superhero. But
That
yeah,
is so
her
meta.
power is very strong. It's underrated. But then on top of that, in everyday life, it's just like, oh shit, a bus is about to hit me, intangible. Oh shit, a bus
Is that
about to hit
everyday
a
life? Is everyday life? Oh shit! A bus is about to hit me.
No, but like, it's good to have just in case. Like, who knows what you're gonna do with these powers? If there's no bad guys, are you gonna go be a supervillain yourself? Or are you gonna be a superhero with no bad guys? So like, in my head, I'm like, can it help me in my life? And it's like, maybe I see someone about to get hit by a car. You can't dive in front and push them out because you'll get hit. But if I just phase them through the car or something like that, there's a lot of uses for it. So I put it in God tier, and then also it's like what I'd want most, and because I really like this character, I would want that power more.
Yeah, I'm not. Kitty Powers, you made a case.
Who the hell is
Powers?
Kitty Powers? You're insulting my favorite superhero yet again.
But yeah, again, like I get to say I have the intangibles, and we get a laugh, and then that's just it. I go about my life.
All right, let's look at something you have leading the way in Garbo, which is embarrassing for you.
Let's hear it.
X-ray vision.
I have it in Garbo. It's
Right.
trash. I have it. I do. Okay. So I
What,
have
what is it?
Garbo.
What makes it better than being able to walk through a wall?
So, my thoughts are, if I ever wanted to just get a job at TSA, like this is the power to have. I could just stand there. I'd look through all the people's things. I'd be like, they've got a bomb.
Right.
And honestly, even if they didn't have a bomb, people would take my word for it. So
Right.
That's just cool. That's a power in its own. So you basically get 2 superpowers with this. I could be a doctor. I could be like a surgeon and just like no scope it because I got X-ray vision.
Right,
in my
but you also
eyeballs.
have to go to med school, and you didn't click the button, so you can't just ace every test. So good luck.
So
So it
yeah,
would help
this-
you do a job normal people do it all the time, but you don't do.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's a cool party trick. A lot of
Walking through a wall is not.
when I was factoring some of these, I was kind of thinking like, what's a good party trick? And I
That's-
thought X-ray vision could be cool because it's like, hey, like put your hands behind your back, and it's like, how many fingers are you holding up? And it's like, I can see through you.
Hear me out for a party trick. All right, ready?
All right.
I take a full can of beer and I push it through my body where my stomach is, and then out the other side the beer comes out. I open it up, turn it over, and there's nothing in it because I phased all the beer already into my stomach. What a trick.
Oh my god.
And you're over here like, I could see your bones, and they're like, oh,
They
prove
call
it.
you a witch.
And
they
they're
would
like-
call you a witch.
So what's your party trick with X-ray vision? I could see your bones. All right, prove it. I can't. What's
What do
your
you
trick?
mean? That's X-ray vision. It's Garbo, but it has, like I said, you're just TSA for life. Like if you always have a job in the world.
I already have a job.
But when the recession hits, Brady, like you gotta be ready. You need a backup.
I'm pretty sure I could get work as someone who could walk through walls.
Oh my god, as a clown for the circus.
Maybe. That'd be a
Oh.
pretty lucrative gig. Let's see. I'm gonna hit you with another one.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm just looking at your list here. I'm trying to figure out what's your dumbest one.
Oh my gosh.
Hit me with the god tier Aquaman.
God tier Aquaman. Excellent party trick. You go to a place and you're making the water splash in the cups. That's fun. You go to SeaWorld. You talk to the fish.
So this party trick is, besides the water moving in a cup, doing the Jurassic Park thing. You have to
it
be
flips up in the cup. It doesn't just do the Jurassic Park thing. It's like shoots in the sky and back in the cup.
Sure, that's very cool.
Very cool.
You could do that with telekinesis also, which you have in the mediocre as fuck division, and you could do it with things other than water. But I'll move past that. At SeaWorld is where your other half of this party trick
Yes.
can be performed.
Correct. So
Okay.
at SeaWorld, you're going and you're just talking to all the fish. And
Right.
maybe it's a little bit of a bummer because like maybe the fish are depressed because they live in SeaWorld.
Yeah,
instead
that
of the
doesn't
ocean.
sound fun.
But that sounds cool. Like I've always wanted to talk to fish.
Right.
Not just that. I don't know. Like how could you
So
underrate talking to
that
fish?
made
You
it
could-
god tier for you.
And last thing on Aquaman, you can go to like a beach or a pond, whatever, and you could split water. Okay? You're like Moses. So that's what put this in God tier. If you're like actually Moses. Like
Moses
I
isn't
feel like
a
that's just-
god.
but I feel like that's close enough.
Oh no. Oh,
So
no,
there we
Mama.
are. That's Aquaman. Like it's just you're talking to fish, you're moving water. Telekinesis. I have it mediocre as fuck. It seems heavy to move things with my mind. I don't want to have to
It
work out my mind that
seems
much.
Heavy. And water's not heavy to move?
No, definitely not. Not if you're Aquaman.
You're out of your mind. This man's
Yeah, but-
crazy.
Telekinesis. It's like I don't know. Like I know it's always like a hype thing, and like yeah, you can move things. That's
It's
cool.
literally the water power, but you could do it for everything.
I feel like if I had telekinesis, I'm becoming Wally. I'm becoming one of those dudes from Wally. Like I'm in the fat chair because I don't have to move anything.
Wild.
I can't live with that.
You're a wild man.
Oh my gosh. Another one that I see you have really high is Storm's power.
Right.
Like, you get to just make it rain, like literally.
Right.
On these hoes. I don't
First
know.
of all,
That's it.
like,
It's like
seems like a
it's-
way better party trick than anything you did with Aquaman. Like right
Like-
off the bat.
Like, the best thing I could think of with Storm, it's like, shit, guys, like, the barbecue's canceled this weekend. We're getting rain. And you're like, oh, really?
And literally, that is so much more useful than any other, like, everyday use of a power that we've gone over so far.
I want to talk to fish. Call me selfish.
Yeah, and that's fine. You could talk to your depressed SeaWorld fish. I'm going to have, like, a power that if there is super villains, I have, like, a chance to do some fighting. Again, Storm, not the most powerful, because guess what? You just shoot her and she dies. That's the end of it. But still, like, a cool, fun, super powery power. I think everyday uses is, like, I want it to be a little rain. I'm a little sad. It feels like a good rainy day today. I'm a little happy. It feels like a good sunny day today. You know, that's a nice power. I got a barbecue. I got big plans this weekend. You could literally make every weekend nice for everybody who's off on the weekends. And then, you know, you scatter some other weather throughout the day. But, you know, it's like, it's such a good power. You got crops that need watering. You take a trip to California, give them a little water out there. You know, you can help a lot of people with this power. But yeah, okay. No, talk to fish. No, it's cool. No, I'll just save people from...
You want to make it cloudy when you're sad. Like, how do I beat that?
It's fine. You talk to depressed fish, and I'll just, like, save people from droughts. It's cool. Like, whatever. I'll just cancel tornadoes. But, you know, you just... you talk to fish, and they can tell you how great it is living at SeaWorld.
I'd like to know. All right.
I can tell you.
One that I'm seeing, it's also standing out to me.
Hit me with it.
Is... Dramatic pause. Okay, I found it. I have Poison Ivy in my is nice tier, in my like B tier, my second from the top.
Absolutely.
You have it in Garbo. You have it way towards the bottom, and like we're talking about practicality, and like I noticed in Storm we're talking about crops and shit, and it's just like
yeah, but that's not her only benefit is crops and shit.
Yeah, but that like I feel like I'd rather just be like the master of crops versus just like oh I can make it rain, but I still gotta like have a green thumb and like plant seeds and shit. It's like
honestly, you could probably do I have her a little underrated. I kind of selfishly thought about her, but you could probably like end world hunger if you're her, which is pretty good.
Yeah, which something you're not interested in because you have her in Garbo too.
Well, I was gonna do that as Storm. I wasn't looking to do that as Poison Ivy, you know.
No, yeah, you're just like, hey guys, we got thunder, so don't be hungry anymore. And you fly out.
I mean, you make it rain on the crops, and then they won't be hungry anymore. That's a good play.
Oh, my gosh. So, I like the Poison Ivy. I want to just, like, make plants and shit. That seems cool. I think you can talk to plants, too. That was another thing I kind of ranked high, if you can talk to things.
I don't think plants have anything to say.
Plants.
I don't think she can talk they have plants. Thoughts.
I think we can't hear their thoughts, but I think she can.
I don't think they have thoughts.
That's just ignorant.
All right, that's on me. Sorry, plant listeners out there.
All right, I just rattled a few. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm looking. I like some. We have some combined Shadow Realm tiers, which I like. The two that we both have in Shadow Realm, I just want to touch on a little bit. Cyclops' laser eyes. For me, absolute garbage, especially because he can't see without shooting lasers, which is, like, terrible.
Just super inconvenient. Like, imagine you go to a movie, back when there's movies in the world.
Right.
And you're just blasting a hole through the screen.
Right.
That's pretty rude.
Right, because you have to have these special glasses. I don't know how to make fucking ruby glasses or whatever the hell he's got.
So I think you just need 2 pairs of 3D glasses and you just pop out the red side of both.
Right, that makes sense. That is true. But then you're not able to watch 3D movies, so.
Oh my god.
That's just a negative. And then the other one was Rogue, who is like in the superhero world extremely powerful from what I understand. She's like a very strong mutant. But like I don't know. We don't know that anybody else has superpowers.
That was my thought here. It's just like, wait, I'm the only one with superpowers, so who am I stealing powers from?
Right. And I don't know that other people exist. If you had to take down a villain, it might be good, but like again, you just shoot Rogue. Rogue also has some powers innately, if I understand that correctly. And I don't think it's it might be Captain Marvel's powers that she has, but she could like fly, has super strength and like shit like that. Cause she like something where she sucked her up too long and then like got stuck with some of her powers or whatever, almost killed her or something. But I'm more thinking of just the stealing powers here, and that's kind of Garbo
Stealing
for
powers,
our circumstance.
and you're the only one with powers. What does it do for you?
Right. I agree.
Okay, I got 2 I'm seeing. I'm eyeballing.
All right, go for it.
Okay, first one I'm seeing is the difference we have of Batman's powers. I got Batman real high.
Right,
You got
which
Batman
is stunning.
real
to me.
low.
Yeah.
Okay, Batman. 1, you got a bunch of gadgets. Need
Right.
I say more? Gadgets are fun.
I mean,
I want to.
Yes, say more. Say more. Go off.
So think about. I'm picturing like the Adam West Batman, where you just have like this utility belt, this seemingly limitless utility belt, which is any gadget you ever need. Plus,
Right.
it's a bat version of this gadget. So now think about if you ever need a gadget, it's batitized.
What would I
That's
need
cool.
it for, though?
Think about it. Like you're trying
Right.
to put together a dresser, and it's like all you have is a Phillips head. It's like, damn. Oh, let me get my bat flathead.
Right.
And there you go.
So
Your
I could
bat
just,
head.
like, wear a tool belt forever and have the same
Yeah,
power.
that's half of his power is wearing a tool belt
Okay.
forever.
All right. What's the
Okay.
other half? And if it's money, I'm out of this conversation.
Next half, you're a pretty good hand-to-hand fighter. Like he's taking down a good amount of thugs.
Right. Sure. He's
That's-
strong. He's durable. He's got a lot of qualities that are good.
Third, and
Third
probably
half.
the
Third half here.
third half, the cherry on top is I included Alfred as a superpower, so I imagine you just get an Alfred, which is pretty cool to me. You know,
Right.
like you just got you just
But,
get
like-
a butler that's always looking out for your well-being and giving you life lessons when you're on hard times.
Honestly, if you have any of these powers on this list, and I'm looking, and I think literally every power on this list, you could make millions of dollars and be rich and buy a butler.
It's not the same. You won't have the same relationship like Batman does with Alfred.
So your parents die, and you take him on as a father figure.
But you get a friend, and that's Batman's superpower.
Your parents may die, but you gain a friend.
Oh, and that's the
That
intangible
just,
that Batman
I'm sad
has.
for you after hearing that. I'm willing to let my parents die just for a friend, you know?
Oh my god, it's a good friend.
I mean, I
It's a
guess.
good friend. All right, that's Batman. Last one I need to touch on
Go for it, kid.
is my A1, my steak sauce in God tier is just pinpoint accuracy. And you have it
Right.
pretty dang low and
And
mediocre as fuck.
This has been a change for me. So when we discussed what we were talking about, and it's like, are we talking about like the strongest power in the comics, the strongest power in real life? What are we talking about? Our favorite abilities to have? Then I'm like, we decided that it's like if you wake up tomorrow basically and you get this, like which one would you be most poggy for? And so for this one, I had it originally in like top of its nice, bottom of God tier, because I do think guns are really strong in real life. And so like half of these superheroes are just dead to guns. And if you can shoot a gun and never miss, like that is really useful in real life. But because it's what we wake up with, all that power really gives me is like, I'm standing on the other side of the room and I have a crumpled up piece of garbage. I throw it towards the garbage can. It's in every time. And like,
That's
I'm playing
what I was
beer
thinking.
pong. That's a lot of fun. I'm playing beer pong. I shoot, every shot goes in. People are going to be pogged out of their gourd. But I wouldn't enjoy that as much as I would enjoy like flying. Like a lot of my mediocre as fuck are like travel things. Like being able to fly is fun. Iceman rides on the ice like he's on a slide, kinda, or a
Slides are
skateboard,
cool.
which is super cool. Being able to swim extremely fast and breathe underwater is super cool. And then some of my it's nices are similar, like Human Torch and Quicksilver, like those mobility ones are a lot of fun, and I'd rather have those than be the best beer bong player at the at my party or something.
Oh my god, you're lost. Because I'm picturing this and exactly what you said about just like I would make so many YouTube highlight reels of me just making crazy shots in basketball,
Sure.
and golf,
Yeah.
and just bags of little bunches of paper in the garbage. Yeah, I don't know. This just seemed like the ultimate party trick.
The best thing is, everything you're describing, people already do. People already
now I
have
can do
YouTube
that.
videos. And
But-
yes, you'd be able to shoot your YouTube video in one take for every skill. They take thousands of takes, but in the end, the video is going to be the same as Dude Perfect anyway. So,
Oh my god.
so I don't know what you get out of that. I can walk in front of the camera and then just light myself on fire. I can run
oh my
around
god.
the world twice in 2 seconds or something crazy like that. Like
That
a lot
gets
of these
old
powers
quick.
are more. You want to show off? Don't worry.
I
I
want
got
to
some
throw
powers for you.
crumpled paper into a bag wherever it is.
Now here's where I'm a little like hesitant here, because you have that as a god tier because you can throw paper into a thing or throw ping pong balls somewhere. What's Jean Grey doing?
Jean Grey, like I said, I think it'd be too heavy on my mind.
Throwing a ping pong ball. You're like, ooh, what a workout.
I didn't want to take that risk.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh my
right.
gosh. Well, let's see. You
I've
got
already-
any others?
Yeah, I'm looking at your list, and I'm feeling out certain things. Like, I think your Mystique placement is interesting. More so because of where I have it. I don't think you have her in like a bad spot necessarily, but I think it's a very like, it's compared to my spot. I think it's something we can talk about here. Maybe round out the podcast with this one. But Mystique to me gives you so many fun options in real life. Like, you can just be whoever you like. You want to go to a club, just be a celebrity and just walk into the club, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, it's fucking Kanye West," and you're just like, "What's up?"
So
Like-
you want identity theft is what you want. For
Yes,
your power.
100%. I would not be perfectly good with Mystique's powers. I'm not out here trying to be a super criminal or anything like that, but I would like definitely be people that are like can get in certain places and sneak in with that. I think that's gold. Her power would be a lot of fun. You talking about the ultimate party trick? It's like, oh, look at Mario over here. He took that shot and he's like, oh, Mario, I suck. And you're like, no, look at Mario. And then you turn into Mario and you're like, oh, I suck. And people are like, holy shit, that was the greatest Mario impression ever. That's what I want. That's what I want.
I don't want to deal with identity theft. That's a serious crime.
Millions of families suffer, Jim.
Oh my goodness, I don't want to be any one of those people. I see another that stuck out to me.
Oh, yeah?
What
do you got?
Yeah. Okay. In my shadow realm, and in your is nice, Ant-Man.
Right.
The power to just be real small or real big.
Super cool. Yeah.
Okay, this is what's gonna happen. The very first time I use this, I'm gonna go real small. I'm gonna get stepped on, and that's the end of me. We're done.
Yeah, but you don't. You have the same strength as you do as a human in relation. So if you can hold up a human's foot in real life with your current body, if you have the strength to do that, if you see a foot coming, you can catch it.
I don't know if I do.
That's literally his power.
I don't know if I do.
That's why when he punches, as like, you don't know if you can hold up a foot.
How heavy of a foot we're talking?
How what?
How heavy of a foot are we talking?
Just like a regular person's foot.
Might get me. That's a like. If
And
I'm
you have to
Ant-Man,
remember,
I
this
don't know.
person's not trying to stomp on you. They're just walking, right? You were saying, I'm going to get stepped on. He's also, like, very fast in those forms because I guess his muscles still have the same, like, density, so he can, like, run quickly. And he jumps around like a little jumping bean. And you are all about wanting to fucking talk to animals. Where did you go wrong with this one? This man literally talks to ants and he flies around on them and shit like that, and this is what you're doing?
Oh my god, it's just ants though. I'd rather talk to the mighty like Shamus and Killatums
And
versus.
and And dandelions. That's what you.
And okay, I'm sure the story is the Oaks could tell if they could. Would tell if they could. I'm sure it's a thing of beauty. I would love to hear their stories versus an ant where it's like, I've been alive for 12 minutes and like I got 30 seconds left. So like, Godspeed.
But
And
you
it's
can,
like, what?
you get additional powers. You can like get small, which is cool because anyone who's like, I want to be invisible because I can like go wherever I want and stuff. It's like, congratulations, Ant-Man can do the same thing. What do you want from me? And then you can get really huge too, and that's more of like in emergency situations. It's like, you know, the old lady when her granddaughter gets a car on top of her and the old lady gets enough strength to like lift it up or whatever story. It's like you could just do that if you saw that happening. You could be like, I can help
an old
these
lady.
people.
You could just be an old lady.
You could
whenever
just
you
be
want.
an old lady. If you go shrink down, go to quantum realm sizes, travel through time, and become an old lady.
Oh my god, that's way too much science for my superpowers.
Yeah, this guy's over here learning the world history of oak trees. Yeah, I've been sitting here for like 200 years. It's all right.
What do you mean? All the people that come by and like
I'm in
carve
somebody's
their name in it
backyard.
and just like,
I saw
oh
a
my
dog
God.
take a shit yesterday. I don't know, man. It's pretty kosher.
oh my god. Any other differences?
Look, I think this tier, you have a great setup compared to the bracket massacre that I just witnessed before this.
Oh my god.
So I'm willing to respect this list, even though you did my girl Kitty Pryde dirty to the extreme.
Oh my God.
But I'm content with your list. I think you did all right.
Thanks.
I'm
bud.
willing to let all your inaccuracies slide here, just because I'm so mortified about that bracket you did. Fucking riddle me how that shit turned out. I don't know, man.
Oh my god, and that's why he won the bracket. Riddle
Because
me.
if you solve the riddle, you lose. If you don't solve the riddle, you lose. Either
Oh
way,
my
you
God.
lose.
He drives you insane by trying to solve the riddle. It's the reverse national treasure.
But even when you do solve the riddle, you lose.
Oh my god. That's it. The house always wins.
How do you beat Riddler? Well, let's close it up on this. How do you beat Riddler? Not Riddler from like the actual movies, who actually can easily be beaten, but your fictional unbeatable Riddler. Is there a way to take him down?
How
If
do you
you're-
take down the Riddler?
Yeah, if you're Mario, you're in the world, and it's like, look, you have one thing you need to do, or the worst thing's gonna happen to your family and everything. You'll never talk to Shamus, and all you have to do is take down the Riddler. What is your game plan?
Pray. I think that's all. I think that's all you got is become a man of God and be holy and just hope that that's enough. How do you beat this man? He just asks you riddles.
God's the greatest riddle of them all.
Oh my god! I used to do riddles in like, I guess I'd just post it online and be like, hey guys, I need this, or like I would post it online with the wrong answer, and then that way someone quickly gives me the right answer.
That is the
And then
quickest way to get the right answer.
Then I give that to the Riddler, but I've already established that if you solve the riddle, you die. So
Yeah,
I
but
guess we haven't gotten that far.
oh my God, you solved it. Because you solved the riddle by cheating. So you didn't use any brain energy to solve it, so you don't drive yourself crazy. Oh my God.
Oh my god!
The man
we
just
did
posted it on Reddit.
it. All right, so there we go. So I actually win the villains bracket.
Great job, Mario. I honestly, I'd rather support you winning that bracket than the Riddler. So
Oh my
I'll take it.
Disrespect.
Everybody at home, thanks for listening or watching or whatever. How presumptuous me to assume you're home. It's 2021. You guys could be anywhere nowadays. Oh wait, pandemic.
Stay safe. Yeah, stay safe.
All right. We'll see you next week when we talk about something else that we haven't decided yet.
Yeah, if you have any ideas, please comment below, wherever you are listening.
Yeah, we'll take
And-
anybody's idea because we're so desperate for the comments.
We'll also give
Especially
you clout. We'll
Dan's.
shout you out. We'll shout you out if you give us an idea.
Yeah, unless you're Dan, then we won't shout you out. All right, bye
right.
guys.
Peace.